Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Welcome to Down with Boring, the first one of 2024. We are coming to you from sunny Bognor Regis, where Rockaway Beach is underway.
Yeah.
It's day 3.
When you're hearing this part.
This is the beginning of the podcast. So for you, it's day 0.
It will forever be day 0 when you're listening to this.
So we've got chats coming up with Hinds on day 1.
Bam.
Dreamwife on day 2.
Bam.
Deadletter and the Cribs
Yes.
on day 3. So a healthy crop this year.
Yeah,
Thanks for
a really
tuning in, everyone.
wonderful crop. Also, a lovely time. I mean, we're in the dying embers, if you will, of another famous Rockaway, which has become a yearly tradition here.
It has.
But a wonderful time, though.
Great time.
Had a wonderful time. Great time. Shout out
Everyone.
and Rockaway Beach.
The
Go to
buffet.
it. Oh, the really good buffet.
Yeah. Love a buffet. Don't really have anything else to say.
I
Happy
want
New
to just say I had red velvet cheesecake that I had at the buffet, and that was
Yeah, we had a
Really
long discussion with a member of our party who shall remain nameless,
nameless.
who thought red velvet was just a colour. Just like, but it's red velvet cheesecake because they put red velvet colour in it. Just like you could do it with anything. He's like, what about a loaf of bread? Could that be red velvet?
If you put it in the middle, because it always has to be in the middle.
in
So
the
like if it's in the middle, then it counts as like a
Exactly.
red velvet thing. But new year, new us, same podcast, really.
Same.
But we're full. This has been a wonderful year of Rockaway
This
Beach.
has been a wonderful year.
It's been
Week 2 of 2024, and it's been
and we're
a wonderful
done.
year.
We're done. It's been a great time, and brilliant.
And I'm the king of the slugs now.
Yes. We've seen some really good standouts from like Dork favourites across the weekend.
We have. Dreamwife, incredible.
Amazing.
Fat
Yes.
dog. Good fun.
Yes.
Very
Heartworms.
good fun.
Heartworms.
Good.
Brilliant.
Froze
mode.
mode barked like a dog. I enjoyed that.
Trout. Very good.
Chalk barked like a dog as well.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
Big dog hours.
just want to say shout out to Froze Mode for shouting where my dog's at. Ooh.
At 1 p.m. on
1 p.m. on a Saturday.
in Butlins.
Which was really strong. So yeah, once again, another amazing year of Rockaway. Always a pleasure to be here and to kickstart the year in style.
Exactly.
And you're going to hear all about that with all of the amazing guests we have. So get ready for that. It's going to be a wonderful time.
This is Fat Dog, King of the Slugs. And up next is Hinds, who are...
Woo.
I'm not sure if they are any slug royalty, but...
not that I'm aware of, no.
they're pretty good.
They're very good and also very excited about what's to come. And you'll hear all about that in just a second, but let's get in the pit. And the pit is the pit with Fat Dog. Here we are, Rockaway Beach.
Rockaway
Beach. We are here. It's Friday.
sorry.
It's going well already. It is the Friday. It's day 1. Everyone's full of energy. None more so than Hinds.
We are so excited. Dear listener, we are sorry because we are very hectic at the minute. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
You know when dogs get too excited out of nothing? That's us.
Same.
It's just the thrill of being in possibly the most disgusting room.
Yeah.
You know what? When we entered the room, we said, "Oh, such a nice backstage." We
This
love
is nice for us, okay?
The chair I'm sitting on has stains on it that I don't want to think about.
we're natural optimistic people, you know what I mean? So
That's that's probably a better way to be honest.
Exactly what it is.
How is the world of Hinds at the moment? How is life?
It's very promising, very, very promising. But to be honest, when it's on fruits. So we've been
Harvesting,
for
watering,
for a very,
praying for sun.
very long time.
Yeah.
You are in the wrong place if you're praying for sun, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Shit,
beach in
shit.
England in January.
Need to run back
Probably
home.
not happening.
He's going back incredibly quickly. But yes, obviously, last year, a year of obviously playing shows, but also a lot of, like
But
you
low
say,
key, to be honest.
low key, kind of like you say, seeding, watering, building,
recording an album,
that's
spending
everything.
all your savings in
Yes.
everything. Not because they're a lot, just because you don't earn money from recording an album. I don't know if someone
all that money,
told you,
there it goes.
yeah.
Having a joyous time. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah. How was it kind of like, I guess, being in a new year after spending that last year very much focused on building for what's to come? Like, how does it feel?
It's very exciting. I
Yeah.
was reading the emails this morning, and I just told Cici that I saw an email from our label guy sending it to someone else, not even directed to us, and he said, the schedule is 99% locked. And we're like, fuck me, what do we have to do to get out 1% and be able to yell, our album is coming out on whatever day, and however, like,
What's
we
the
cannot
1%?
wait.
What's the 1%?
Exactly.
We're the
You are-
1%.
This podcast
Yeah,
was the 1%. This is what we were looking for to, yeah.
It's 99% locked, but at a strange holiday park in Bognor Regis, 2 guys want to talk to you, and that's
Yeah,
the 1%.
and they have to decide
That's the
it for you.
1%.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. As we head towards the set itself, that's going to push it over the line. So
Thank you guys for being
Yeah,
here
yeah,
and
yeah.
making this possible.
It's not a problem at all. How was Christmas, New Year for you guys as well? Like,
Pretty
good
different.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, it was exciting because right before Christmas, we went to New York to write songs with Julian Casablancas, guys.
Oh,
That was one of the best
Yeah.
things of last year, even though it was in December the 19th.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I feel like it was like Christmas.
you,
The whole thing has been
amazing.
about
Could
it.
you just drop him a word, see if he wants to, be the next guest
Yeah,
on
of
this?
course.
Just,
Yeah,
know.
I'm sure he'll
We'll call him in a minute. Don't worry.
If you got his number right now, what we can do is going to call him right now, and we're going to just record it and see what happens.
Even if he says no on air, it counts. We can put him in the thing saying
Yeah,
he's
we
on
can
the
use it.
podcast. Then that counts. That counts.
Yeah, it counts. It all
Yeah.
happens. It all happens. How was that to wind out the year? Sorry, like that was
We're kind of like old friends for a very long time now.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of Hinds, even
Nice.
if you don't believe it.
Yeah.
He actually,
Even if I don't believe
We
it.
believe it.
bueno,
It's hard to believe. It is hard to believe.
Come on, we're not that big. It's not like saying I'm a fan of
Yeah.
Beyonce.
We've never been like the cool band to like.
no, neither. I mean, we're not
I feel
that
like
big.
comparing yourself to Beyonce is probably going to be disappointing for every act on the planet,
Fair.
to be honest, unless
Fair
you're
enough.
Taylor Swift. Like,
Fair enough.
Claro, but it's not like he's a Swifter. It's like, oh yeah, I love Hinds. Like, and he really does, and he keeps choosing us to support the Strokes
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this show and the other show, and in Europe and in New York for New Year's Eve and forever.
Yeah.
So suddenly we started chatting about. I mean, he's been offering to play keyboards for us for a very long time.
Not a
But
bad
in a-
keyboardist.
Ever.
Not a bad person to have in your
And he's
band.
here tonight. No.
And
He's
Julian Casablancas! So everybody clap.
Just want to flag the pizzas have arrived.
there was a knock at the door that we thought could be Julian, but it turns
But
out
it's
it's
even better than
7
Julian.
Papa John's
Pizza.
pizzas.
Equally wonderful in various forms. So ending the year with that.
Yeah.
That's quite a wild way to end.
It really was wild. Like, just even when we were there before, because we wrote a song that we're really happy with, that we fucking love. But even before going to the studio, we were just like looking at each other because he let us stay at his apartment. Like, just everything felt like a dream. Like, you know what? This is why you have a band. This is why, like, even in the dark fucking days, the years we've had that have been really, really tough, and we're like, should we keep going? Like, it seemed like the world was sending us signals to just quit
stop
and
right
stop.
there.
Like,
Yeah.
you've had it, you've done it, stop. And then suddenly, like, it was kind of like, an apocalypse of this is why we kept going, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like the universe telling us go on because there's a lot left for you to do and to write.
A real like amazing sign to end the year.
Yeah.
Now I guess you feel like
And was it good?
It was
It was
amazing.
very good.
It was
Good, because
amazing.
I
nothing
mean,
worse
you
than
be
being
the
like,
judge
this,
of the
this
song,
is my
but-
dream, and they're going there and like, actually, this
No.
guy's really bad at keyboards.
No.
We didn't realise.
We
don't know
we
what
had to
happened,
fire
man.
him.
He just kept doing chopsticks. We had to put it on the song. I honestly,
No, to be honest, we were
sorry.
kind of concerned too because all his last music with the voids and stuff,
Yeah.
it's music that is more complicated. It's not as
Yeah.
poppy as we could be or not rocky as we can be. And I mean, when you work with a genius, he obviously made the effort to do a song with us
That would make
fit
sense
exactly.
with Hinds.
yeah, that's amazing.
And it has a great melody, incredible lyrics. O sea,
Yeah.
we're still missing one part. We haven't finished it yet, but
But it's there, and that's a
it's
good.
there.
That's a good Christmas present, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
you walk
Amazing.
away. It's like, what
Yeah.
do we get for Christmas?
It's
Turns out just
amazing.
a song with Julian Casablancas.
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
just a
yep, yep,
normal. A normal time, exactly. And I guess like with the album and kind of like, I guess looking ahead as well, like how does it feel having that together? I guess in like a new chapter for you guys in a lot of ways. Like how does it feel kind of like bringing that together, and does it feel like that, I guess, musically?
Feels
I guess
like
as well.
a reborn.
100%.
Yeah.
It feels like a fucking first album, weirdly. Like, because
Like a
not
debut.
only because it's the first album that only the two of us write,
yeah.
but also because like it's been so long since we haven't released anything, and it hasn't been like, you know, some bands when they play for a while, they're like, oh, we're gonna go on
take
a break. We're gonna go
Do a
relax.
blackout and
yeah,
disappear.
It was the opposite. Like
Mysteriously.
we've been working harder than ever.
Yeah.
But like fully on the shadows, without any team, without a band, without a record label, without management. Like it's been like very, very dark years. So like to finally have a team, a plan, an album, like it's finally mixed. It's going to mastering next week. So it's just like it's so exciting. Honestly,
We've caught you
so
at like
exciting.
the best possible moment.
You really have. You
Like
really,
post
really
Julian
have.
pre-release,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know why we're so excited. It's like, well, I think I probably do. Yeah.
I do know. We walked in here, right, and bear in mind this room was full of people out of nowhere, right? And immediately, all I saw was just excitement, being like, right, okay, yes, let's go. Right, where are we going to talk? Let's go talk now. Let's go talk now. We're ready.
Anyone that came in was like, just because they're opening the door and entering.
Like the excitement in this room
You're
was
so
like
happy.
palpable.
It was mildly terrifying for me as I walked in and went, are we sure this? I don't remember Hinds having 15 people in.
We don't have 15 mics.
We're not going to be able to make that work on that stage tonight. I'm just telling you right now. Like, we're on a limited budget right here.
We'll see.
We've had more than 15 people on stage before.
We can make it work. We can make it work. That's amazing. And I guess like you say, like, obviously like looking ahead and all that excitement as well. And I guess like when it was a case where it was like you say, just the two of you, and you're like, right, what are we gonna do now? Like, was there a moment where you were like, it kind of clicked in, and you were like, right, okay, this is what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Actually, it was like that. It clicked.
Yeah.
So because obviously for a second in the dark times,
Yeah.
we also had this chat that is a very, very sad chat.
Just
but
like,
you go
is-
like,
yeah.
I don't know if I can
What
be
are we gonna
broke
do?
any
Yeah,
more
yeah.
time in my life. I don't, o sea, there's a moment that, I'm sorry
Yeah.
to talk about to put it into money, but when you cannot pay rent, you have to choose something. Like I don't know what to do. And
Yeah, there's always going to be that thought, isn't there? Where
It's
it's like,
always
as
rent.
much as I love this, like,
Because
I have to pay
it's
these
horrible
things, right?
because I feel like musicians and the music world and the arts world in general, we are a little bit a part of the cycle and the wheel of capitalism, or at least in my wish is to live outside of that world,
And then you go to a
as much
studio
as
and
we
you're
can.
like, where do we get, we're back in, we have to pay the money again
but
now.
exactly,
Where's the
like,
money?
wait, the money, exactly, fucking
But
money,
the
man.
songs are good, isn't that enough?
Yeah, shouldn't that be paying rent?
So, but to be honest, I don't know exactly what it was. We started to meet every single day at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Either in her house or in my house, and we started grading. I think it was thanks to music.
So I would say it's like it was a mix of writing. We wrote one of the songs that is in the album that is going to be like a main single. Like we wrote one song that we're like, oh, okay, like open like a big world of sound and direction, because we for a while, for like a couple of years actually, we were writing songs and we didn't know. We actually thought maybe we're going to go like electronic music, because there were a couple of demos that were like heavily auto-tuned and
here we
like
go.
party, and we're like, okay, I'm like maybe this is what
it is.
maybe bring it on.
What
Like
I love about this is like, obviously this is audio, but the way you looked at each other then was like you were spilling like a family secret. Like we have a
Like,
secret
I'm gonna
child
have
in
to
the
say it,
attic.
Carlota.
Like, we nearly went electronic.
Like somewhere
She
on
touched
a
my-
laptop on a drive,
Yeah, we did.
there is the Hinds
See,
electronic album.
At least it wasn't funk, which is something we're very proud
I
of.
love that if you got that far, you're like, well, okay, maybe we do stop. Yeah,
That's the finish line.
that's
But
it.
no, for like a couple of years we were writing, didn't really like see it together, and then we wrote that one song that we're like, oh shit, this is exactly the road I want to take. And then just like that, we did a bit of touring. Like finally we could tour again that summer, not a lot, but we did Lollapalooza, we did like a couple of big shows, and we're like, okay, we're not done. Like I see some light at the end of the tunnel, you know?
Yeah, that's amazing. And I guess like getting to this point now, like you say, with all of this ahead of you and with all that excitement, like I guess as your like ambitions changed as a band, like
100%.
like
This is the very first album. One friend told me like, how does the album sound? And we were having a beer, and I thought, probably the most correct answer is to tell you that this is the first album that we're not craving to sound on the radio.
Yeah. You're just like,
it's just like. I mean, even when we were recording it, which it wasn't in a studio, we built a studio out in a fucking living room in a Airbnb in the middle of France.
Amazing.
So it was just like, it's the freedom of. Freedom is just another word for nothing else to lose. So it really was like, if you don't want to be played on the radio, if you don't have that expectation or necessity of to be liked, it's just like, let's keep doing.
It's like crazy because even when we were before going to the studio, we were like discussing like, is this an album? Like, does it make sense? Like, blah blah blah. And then we're like, we don't care. Listen, like, I don't care if it's not an album. I don't care if it doesn't make sense. We have to make this album. And then the next one will be the good album, okay? Like this doesn't have to be the good one. This doesn't have to be the breakthrough. This just has to happen.
The expectation.
And like, that was the expectation.
To
like, make an album. We have to record an album. And then suddenly, I personally think it's one of the best albums. You know, it is crazy because we're like, we're just going to do it.
Yeah, not overthinking it, I guess, as well. Just being like, this is just letting it go and like letting it happen.
No time, sorry to say it again, but no time or money led us to overthink it. So I think it's also, we obviously have had a lot of time to think about stuff. And when you study another band's career, it's true that when they arrive to the album number 4, which is where we are in the road right now, fucking veterans, but they usually, if you are alive still with a 4th album, is because you are successful. So a lot of problems of Little Life has disappeared. So I think that because of having so much problems, to be honest,
people are like, oh, they've gone stale. They don't have to worry about it anymore. And you're here like, look, we're very worried.
So we talk about washing dishes, being home, paying rent and stuff. So
not living in a mansion in LA. No,
driving in my Lamborghini.
But if you hear those sweet keyboards, you may just hear Tuning Casablancas. Amazing. Well, we're looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to the set in a little bit later. Oh yeah,
we're gonna play 2 new songs for the first time ever
that you're not gonna record. No, it's forbidden.
So right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to the songs that we recorded.
I was going to say, the thing is with this, because it's not live, it's like, when this comes out, that's already happened. We've never got a scoop. It's always people like, later on, we're going to do this amazing thing. And I'm like, it comes out in 2 days. It comes out in 2 days.
No, you'll have to wait because you'll have to wait. As the same as us. I'm sorry. Please wait a little bit more.
We will wait. No, we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to the set. Looking forward to the new songs. Because we're at Rockaway Beach, because we're at, a holiday resort, if you will, on the south coast, the legendary Rockaway Beach. We're going to play a game for you. Jake, do you want to explain the game? Because you're going to explain the games.
Can I also just ask before we do this, would you say this has the same vibe as the coastal resorts in Spain have? Similar.
We actually were. See,
there's a festival in Spain that copied this idea.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Because I always think when we go to Spain, we're blinded by the fact that like the weather's actually nice. But like I think
blinded by the sun.
Yeah, literally. Like what's going on here? So it's kind of nice to get an objective view on whether this is sort of the vibe.
I've got very pale skin, so I'm just literally more like alarmed by the fact of the sun. I'm like, oh no, please let me get away from it. So the fact that it exists there, wonderful. I'm glad you're getting a similar vibe whilst you're here in the first week of January.
Jamie went to Benidorm and had to plan his route to places based on how many umbrellas were on the way. Anyway, yes. So, you haven't actually written... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know what the game is for a second there.
Actually.
This is a big weekend. So what we want to ask you is we're going to give you a couple of other big weekends, give you 2 options, and each time we want you to tell us which one you would rather do and why.
Fantastic.
So the first one, would you rather spend the weekend hiding in a tree or hiding in a cave?
A tree.
No. Okay. If it rains...
But
cave.
Why would it rain? Why would it rain?
Is this in England?
I don't know.
Where is the tree?
You don't know where the tree is before you go. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, fuck. The rain is it's a good point.
To clarify again, we're not going to send you to either of these after.
You cannot sleep under the rain. You need a roof. I'm serious.
Yeah, but I was thinking like, what would be nicer? Like to see the outside, to be with monkeys or with birds. But to be fair, if it's about
nicer. Yeah.
Surviving.
How many hours? I know, a whole weekend.
Well, a
Cave,
weekend.
cave,
So
cave.
yeah, and I want to say a long weekend, so
cave,
probably the
cave.
Friday as well.
And I don't want to be by the tree by myself, so I'm joining
Yeah, that's
Carlota
fair.
in the cave.
You see up in that tree, watching her in the cave, having a great time.
Speaking of monkeys, thankfully we've got an option here for you. Staying in a 6-bedroom house with a load of monkeys or a load of hyenas. Just to flag, there's no danger to life with either of them. So you don't have to be worried about, the hyenas might attack you.
Monkeys,
The monkeys.
for sure. O sea,
Monkeys
they're
are the
the
best.
cutest, funniest animals
They're
ever.
the best.
No doubt.
Plus, we're very similar. I mean, we would make friends.
Yeah, we would.
They
I bet
do
we could
piss
play
everywhere,
games.
though.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Sorry,
What did you say?
They do what?
They do like urinate everywhere. They do wee
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, I mean, hyenas doesn't. They go to the toilets.
I don't know why in my mind they don't, but you're probably right there. I've never seen it happen, but yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, the monkeys are more hectic, but I think they fit us.
Just like us.
I mean,
Yeah.
we would become monkeys.
We would, yeah.
Yes.
And hyenas are terrifying. I've seen a couple in real life
Me too.
in
They're
South
quite
Africa.
intense.
Fucking terrifying.
The sound they do.
I don't like that there's no real difference between like the neck and the shoulders. They're just like a big tube. You know,
Tube
there's
with
no
eyes.
like it's like
Yeah.
it's like a snake that someone's given legs to. It's a bit
Yeah,
freaky.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I just want to flag a real moment that happened a moment ago, which was you're like, we're really alike, and you went, they piss everywhere, and and literally there was a moment where it just went, yes.
I know.
I was like, and you saying we're not alike in that scenario? So monkeys, it is a collective
Yes,
monkeys.
monkeys.
Would you rather spend the weekend on an island with all of your extended family or with everyone you went to high school with?
High school, I think, because
Because of the monkey thing again.
no, more like 'cause I don't know what they're up to. So it'll be like, how long is it this island?
it's like so 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
Wait, do I have to? My grandmother and stuff has to.
Yeah,
Claro.
the whole
Claro,
Poor
family.
girl, poor woman,
It's-
poor woman.
It's either situation like
high school,
or high school that is like
high school
Yeah.
musical.
monkeys.
I guess you don't
We
know
would do a
anything to the high
musical.
school people either, do you? Like
I do.
if your grandma is there and she's like, do this, you're like, well, I have to. You're my grandma. If
Yeah.
someone you went to school with says it, you're like, no, fuck you. I don't know you.
Fuck you. Fuck you
already.
or something. Fuck you.
This is gonna be a war since minute 1. All right.
Oh, amazing. A like stag hen weekend, like when you're about to get married.
Stanheck.
Yeah.
Stag is
Like-
como
like
cuando
a
te vas a
bachelor
casar,
party.
la noche de antes de
Ah.
casar.
Yeah, yeah. Or a knitting circle.
Knitting?
Yeah, so
Like,
knitting. Oh,
hacer
yeah,
punto.
like that.
Uy,
Knitting,
hacer
no?
eso.
Knitting for sure.
Yeah,
Love that.
knitting for sure. You're like
Yeah.
straight in.
Lovely.
You're like, yes.
Straight in.
The absolute, that you being there like, the knitting. So passionate, so passionate.
Say knitting now.
I know this answer.
I know this one.
No, but we love it. We
Pick
love
me.
everything that's like manual and like retreat things or breaking
See, it
things.
wouldn't be a punishment at
No,
all.
it would be fun.
It would be amazing.
Yeah,
fun and productive, guys.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
never
true.
get a little
You come out of there
scarf,
with something.
3
3 days of
hat
solid
for the
knitting. You're probably gonna have a whole outfit. Two more.
Two more.
Okay. A weekend baking the world's biggest pie or cooking the world's biggest roast dinner.
I mean, yeah.
Dios.
Oh,
A ver, basically, what do we want to eat? A pie
I think
or
that's
roast?
the real question here, isn't it?
what is
Are
the
you
pie
dessert or
made
main?
of?
It's
Apple?
up to you. You've got to gather all the ingredients though, so you don't want to make it too complicated.
Es que, claro, big quantities are always fun. Imagine a lot of apples.
Yeah.
Imagine a
I
lot
would
of
say,
apples. Can you imagine a lot of
A
apples?
lot
I would say pie because roast. It's
It's
a
so
lot of
complicated.
dishes. It's a,
Yeah, but
it's a
imagine
million
a lot
little
of
things.
carrots.
But they don't
Yeah,
have to be
that's
only carrots.
You got me.
I think pie.
Pie, no?
Focus on one thing. It's not that many ingredients. We can do it, Carlota. A lot
Plus,
of apples. You love
You,
apples.
you get to see
And-
so many apples.
And we can grade the word Hinds. The shape
That's
of
true.
Hinds
I love
That's
that.
true.
in a pie.
Yeah.
Always thinking about the promo. Always thinking about the promo.
Marketing.
Fucking win,
You know,
man.
most bands, a couple of hours before the set, they don't want to talk to us, but you're here like promo. I can put my name in a pie.
promo. I call this promo.
Yeah.
And the last one, a weekend of extreme sports or a weekend of cat sitting.
No,
Sports.
There was a real look there on Cat
Sorry,
C. I just
yeah.
want to flag.
Sorry,
it
we're
was
Not
no
very,
cats. It was no
not very
cats.
cat people.
What would be the extreme sports that you're like massive into?
Bring it
So-
on, whatever you want.
What do you call stream?
Extreme sports would be like
in England, in
Climbing?
extreme sport is looking after cats.
it'd be like
tell you.
I guess like jumping out of a plane, like skydiving.
100%.
Oh, that's kind of a sport. Mountain climbing.
100%.
That sort of vibe.
So 3 days
Diving
ago,
with sharks?
Yeah.
I've dived with sharks.
Oh,
You've
I'm
got-
so
All right,
jealous.
okay, hold on. We're gonna need this story.
I was swimming at minus 10 degrees in Iceland. O sea, guys.
Sorry.
Guys, I'm extreme, girl. I'm extreme.
How did you end up in this situation? Is my main question.
I paid a lot of money to do it.
I actually just want to say we were at Iceland Airwaves a couple of months ago, and everyone except you went to the place where you swam in the sea. So I've swum in the sea too.
But that's the
And it sucked.
hot one.
It was horrible. No.
Oh,
in like
actually
you go in the
cold?
hot pool and then you go in the sea
Oh, okay.
after, and I hated every fucking second of it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That's
Yeah.
lovely. I love
But
doing things
afterwards,
that
everyone-
afterwards you can
yeah.
say, I hated it
Yeah,
so bad.
No, but afterwards
It's
as well, when
amazing.
someone who hasn't done it asks, you're like, oh, it's great. It's
Yeah.
incredible. And then they go and you're like, yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? It's really bad.
While I was doing it, I was thinking about Carlota, and I texted her the day before. I was like, Carlota, when I go back to Spain, I have to tell you this story.
I'm
She's
gonna
like,
do
okay.
something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something.
Yeah. And
You
she's like,
didn't even
okay,
know.
got it. You go do it.
Didn't even know.
I knew she would love it though, because she's extreme and we're
I
extreme
loved it.
sports.
And she hated it. She thought she was going to
You
die.
see? It was horrible. I fucking hated every second of it, but I would do it
But-
again. Yeah. Good story. So
Rather
worth
than
it.
sitting up looking after a cat, you ain't day.
count.
No.
With the sharks all day.
They don't want to be
With you.
take care of.
Yeah.
The cats don't need you.
I mean,
so
they're
it would be
nice,
bothering a cat,
See.
actually. It would be, would you rather bother a cat or do something fun? so,
With the knowledge of those sharks in Iceland in our mind, our time is up, unfortunately. You are meant to be going on stage shortly. Well, not that shortly, but also that's the end of the game.
Let me see.
Um,
Oh, and then
yeah,
half an
it's the end
hour.
of the game.
An hour and a half, sorry.
oh,
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah.
God. Oh my God.
Extreme sports.
Extreme.
We're looking forward to the set, looking forward to the new
You're gonna
songs.
come see us?
Oh.
You have to.
Oh, yeah.
It would be quite rude not to.
It wouldn't
I
be the
think.
fucking first time. We have an interview and they're like, oh, I
have to leave.
I have dinner. And we're like,
dinner.
oh,
Hey,
well,
we're at
bon
Butlins. What
appetit.
dinner are we
We're not going to get lost at the arcade. We're going to
Okay,
make it to
good,
the show. We can
good.
guarantee that. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to everything. What Hinds song would you like us to play right now on the radio show that is going to be
shit.
going out?
Do people listen to this more like in the day? I hope it's not because we're going to be
So this premieres at like 8 p.m.
Good,
So,
good,
you know,
nice.
so
Evening.
people listen to it then, and then some people do listen to it in the morning, but also like they're gonna wish they listened to it in the evening.
Yeah.
I think. Like,
Okay. This one.
3 minutes of you doing that.
Meow, maybe?
Go on.
Meow.
Mega.
So
Bam.
it's just like it's
yeah.
like it's meow.
Bam.
Sorry, you spell it different. Like meow.
Cat stuff.
Cats.
Boring. You wouldn't get it.
Cats would understand.
You spell this differently. And that's on you. Enjoy the pizza that's sitting over there.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you in a bit. Cheers.
See you in a bit. Bye.
Cheers. Adios.
Just like kisses, we are late on our home side away. We do tears, we do time. I'm tired of waiting. We are all afraid of God no more. I guess it's the prettiest curse. To be fair, I don't
We're back at Rockaway Beach. We are sat here by a closed Costa Coffee, having a wonderful time, looking around at the various sites. But don't worry, we're here with the one and only Dreamwife. Dreamwife, how are we doing? How is life?
Just
how are you
happy
feeling?
to be here.
Just
Can't believe you're wearing a shirt and
You're revealing to the audience my looks here.
That sounded like you're normally topless. Can't believe. Jamie's wearing a short sleeve
wearing
shirt
a
and it's very
shirt.
cold.
I'm wearing
Also,
Three
can I
layers,
just say
you're wearing a
I
shirt?
adore Raquel, who on Instagram has been having like the most picture postcard Christmas in Iceland. Going, I'm just so happy to be here in Bognor Regis.
Like, it's very appreciated. It's just like
to be honest, I've been walking on ice not thin ice for the past weeks, and I'm happy to actually just step on the ground and not be cautious of falling down. Actually,
that's the goals.
Bella
That's the
was
goals.
also in Iceland this past month too.
I didn't fall down. It was really hard. I walked really, really slowly. You have to like clench your butt so tight and take little tiny penguin steps.
It's all in the butt
It's all in that. That's the technique.
and knees.
Technique and knees. I love that you're just like, there's a concern I might fall through this. Yep, I'll
Not
just
fall
clench.
through, just fall to the earth.
Oh, yeah.
Straight down, broken coccyx.
So there's no ice here, so I'm in heaven right now.
You could even run if you wanted to.
You could run.
What, over the ice?
don't run.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
Bognor Regis.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we are running in Bognor Regis. We're running all around the place as much as possible. How, I guess, is everything in the world of Dreamwife? I mean, the last time we chatted was just before you guys, I guess, set off on a very big tour.
Yeah.
Around everywhere, anywhere, all of the places. I guess, how do you feel kind of like starting the new year? I guess after everything that came last year as well.
Yeah, I think we feel really good actually. It's like we've had a nice rest over Christmas and stuff. Like, yeah, came off the EU tour and yeah, I think we all just like slept for 3 days.
It was about almost 3 months straight
Yeah.
of touring.
It was a very
finished.
solid run of dates where you were like, okay, and we're off again, and we're off again, and we're off again.
We only had a week off, and that's when I saw you in Iceland for Iceland Airwaves.
So you can never get away from.
When we just tried to record a podcast in an area that Raquel later told us was where most of the parliament were doing their backroom deals at the time.
And they were telling you off when they saw
So
the
if
microphone.
you listen back to that Iceland Airways podcast, listen closely in the background. You may hear some secrets. But that was the run. Like I say, you just kind of like went, and it was like day after day after day. Like, how was that for you guys? I guess like for you, I guess after like being in a band for like so many years, like is it a case where you're used to that as well? Like kind of like that touring schedule and that kind of like run? Like, is that a case? Are you there like there's a real look?
That's not the face of someone who's like, yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it's like you have to kind of meet it every day, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
being alive isn't really something you get used to.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
being on
Wow.
tour is like a very particular way of doing being alive. But I think what we've gotten really good at is like looking after each other and looking after ourselves
Yeah.
and like knowing when you need to take space, when you need to break, when you need to be kind of like held by each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely felt
You went through an experience.
easier than other tours, perhaps.
I remember you saying last time we spoke to you, and you were like, touring's actually quite a nice experience for you because you are all like determined to make it like nice and like you're saying like supportive as a thing. Most bands you speak to are like, it's brutal, and you were like, yeah, we like we keep in touch with each other, make sure we're all happy. You sound like the most wholesome touring I've ever heard.
Actually, I think we are
Yeah.
to some extent.
It's very chill, very like easy. And then we get up on stage and we have a party.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's all about the balance.
Yeah.
Like I think we've definitely like at the start we were maybe more wild in the way we toured, or like certainly personally for
definitely
me, it's
were.
like I can't.
I was like, yes. They were like, no, yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
yeah. But yeah, like I don't want to have a hangover every day on tour anymore. I think we're kind of all similar.
You had a
Like,
hangover every day on tour?
I mean, back at the start.
no.
Look around.
I sang. But no, it's just, I think we're sort of teasing, but we do compare vitamin boxes a lot.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, getting real different levels of what self-care looks like to you guys
That's
here.
like that's the beauty of it, you know. Everyone needs different things, and you've got to kind of negotiate all of those different things when you're literally just like the meat and the skull of the van.
You're like, as we're in it, we're exactly that. And for such a long period of time as well, like kind of like getting out there and doing all those different shows, like you're saying, like across Europe and obviously across UK and everything like that. Like, how was it seeing the reaction, like almost this time around on tour, and seeing the reaction, I guess, to the new album as well, and seeing that front and center? Like, how was that to kind of like see as well?
It was honestly like a joy. Like I think we hadn't done a tour of that scale like since pre-pandemic, and I think we were all just like the whole time like so grateful to be able to be taking the songs out there again. And like for instance, we'd never played in Prague before, and like I would say like the show in Prague on the EU tour was like one of the best shows, and it's like amazing to go somewhere you've never been and feel really warmly received. And yeah, it was an absolute joy.
Yeah. And I guess like kind of being in that situation and seeing that reaction, like, does it almost kind of like give you that sort of like, I don't know, like not validation, but a sense of like, do you know what? All of it is like
Oh, it
we're
actually
seeing
means
it.
something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
connecting
Yeah,
with
yeah.
people.
Oh, this-
We're doing a thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like it's landing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, I've seen that. in
Yeah.
person.
Also, that feeling of just taking each day, but as it goes.
Yeah.
But also taking each show as it is. And I think throughout the whole of our tour, we were just so filled with gratitude because the shows were great and the audience were amazing. Except that one weird show in Italy, but
But like one out of 50 odd. Not bad.
I'm
not
afraid
bad.
we can't. Come on, what happened? What was weird in Italy?
nah. But
Interesting support band that Raquel compared to the Three Blind Mice.
Oh, okay,
We'll
interesting.
give you that.
let's just
Okay.
say we've never had half the room walk out before we went on stage.
And the half was all the women.
Wow. Okay.
Great,
like-
You're there in the door, like, no, you'll love this one. Come back.
Go to the bar. Like, just stay around.
That was one of the strangest experiences I've ever seen. Yeah. But other than that, it was great. But also, that night was pretty funny, too. Once the women and the gorgeous gals and
The love
queers
of
came back
Alice's
in.
life
They
was
came
there.
back.
So it was, it was absolutely redeemed by like the joy of their love.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is also why support bands are quite crucial. Some
Yeah.
might offend half the room when they walk out.
Yeah.
And they're speaking in a language you don't know and you have no idea what's going on.
You're there, like, are they coming back?
Literally, we're like, what have they just
Yeah,
said?
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
Is everyone all right?
Yes.
No. I'm getting a no over here.
we went straight out to the smoking area where all the girls and queers had congregated.
and you're like,
We were just
everyone
there,
loves
like,
smoking.
We were like, are you okay? Like, what were they saying? Like, we were like there to like support them. We were like, what is going on?
yeah. You're like, what's happened here? Like, what has
But
happened?
other than that, it was really amazing and magical.
Yes.
And this show was fun. But I think that time as well, like, actually, we didn't have a day off during our European tour. And it was 5 weeks. There was one time that was quite similar to where we are now. We had a driving day, so like driving for hours.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So Bella and Paves and our tour manager, they decided that we should book a hotel at a water park.
The largest water park in Europe. Part
Right.
of Poland.
That's the detail.
Yes.
That's the detail we need.
So we're going to stop this whole conversation. Let's talk about this. So,
Water park in Poland.
I went on one
Right.
of those slides. You have to like cross your arms, cross your ankles, stand on a little platform. They're like 4, 3, 2, 1. Nothing. The floor drops out and you just fall.
So they woke up at 7 a.m. After the show finished at midnight the night before. We drove to this resort area outside of Warsaw. And they woke up at 7 a.m. Me and Alice, we slept. We also all had our bungalows.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it was snowing. There were palm trees in the snow.
It was really weird.
I feel like you've gone to somewhere that just like doesn't exist in the world.
I
Like,
think
what's
there
going
should
on?
be a music festival there.
Yeah, that would be
We'll give it a
cool.
go. All right, we'll take Rockaway
Okay.
Beach there.
We?
You know,
I think
We're
Rockaway
not booking a festival in Poland.
have you heard about the water park?
Oh, go.
Another sick thing we saw on tour, the largest statue of a head in Europe. Have you got any guesses? Who and where?
Oh, Jake will be good at this.
Pope John Paul II. No,
No.
I'm out.
It's Karl Marx in Chemnitz.
I knew it was going to be some big movement guy. You know,
It was very big.
Chemnitz is
You know,
great.
Catholicism, Marxism. I knew it was going to be one of the isms. You know, one of the
yeah.
isms. Or Elvis.
or Elvis. There, that's it.
It was a stunning sculpture. Well, we arrived at Chemnitz, which, by the way, is a great place.
Yeah, the Chemnitz show was really cool.
But we were like, so what to see here? And I was like, oh, the head.
You
Gotta go to the
That's so
head.
good to say to someone, what have you got? And they're like, we've got a huge fucking head.
Yeah.
Biggest in
Yeah.
Europe.
And then,
yes.
Sold.
and then our hotel had a view of the head.
Oh, yeah.
Head's eye
How
view.
big is the head? Is this like in London where they say you've got a view of the Shard? Because everywhere, the head is so big.
overlooking the entire area.
It blocks out the sun.
Like the Eye of Mordor. Yeah.
Open the blinds of the hotel and it's just Karl Marx's eye in the window.
You know the volcano that we were talking about? The one
Yes, in Iceland.
that made
Yes,
you
of
not
course.
go to the Blue Lagoon when you were there?
That is yes.
That volcano from above, it erupted a few weeks ago, died down now, but it looked exactly like the Eye of Mordor from above. So someone threw in a ring and it stopped.
What?
The
That's my
actual ring.
theory. Because I was supposed
Is
to
that
destroy.
theory, or do you know the person who
Is
threw
that
the ring?
theory?
in?
Do you know the person who did it?
Raquel is missing a ring. Raquel is missing a ring.
When you threw your ring in the fire.
Of course.
I love that. It was me. It was me.
Well, you do know that J.R.L. Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings based upon Icelandic folk stories.
Yeah, you
The
elves.
trolls, the elves, mere mortals, and hobbits.
So, are you voluntarily comparing yourself to a hairy-footed dwarf person?
No, the hairy-footed dwarfs. They're from the UK. They're from here. These are the gorgeous
Hobbit
elves.
threw
I'm
the
an
ring.
elf.
The gorgeous
the elf
elves.
didn't throw the ring into Mordor. You can't rewrite the story.
Alice, was it you that threw the ring?
I mean, I can't take credit for saving a whole country.
Well,
Go on.
technically
Treat
only
yourself.
a town. The town was spared,
The town was spared.
but there still is fire underneath. We don't know yet.
Mm.
Anyway,
Have they been able to go home yet?
yes and no.
Is it the
Will they ever return?
is it the lava tunnels underneath? That
Yes,
are
there's
forming?
lava tunnels all underneath.
Yes.
Anyway, should we talk about like music?
Back to the band.
That's on you guys. I mean,
We jumped from water park, giant head of Karl Marx, and looking at his overbearing over the city.
I think we all really understood that was about the album deep down, wasn't
Yeah.
it? You know?
Yeah, deep down, that's the core of social
Yeah.
lubrication.
Wait,
right?
that really is. How did we not see this?
Of course.
Socialism,
That is
red hot
sad
lava,
songs from the Fish
and
Factory.
flowing around in the water park.
And a key. No? A ring.
A ring.
A ring.
A ring.
Wife.
A ring.
The wife.
A wife.
Homo
A wife.
A
matrimony.
wife. Dream wife. Thank you very much, Rob. No.
I hope someone gets married this year.
Someone will get married.
Because the name sort of says it all.
Getting married this year.
Are we going
It's
Are we
to
going?
brides?
Are we going?
Maids?
I'm going.
Matrions? Brides and
I
wives?
love that. We were all going.
Bride's wife.
This would be a really uncomfortable moment to be like, well, not you guys, actually.
Didn't make that
Jamie
cut.
has a +1 to a wedding that he was trying to fob off on me earlier, so
So if
Well,
you
no,
can't go
invite
to
all
that
of
wedding.
us.
Yes.
it's
Come
all
on.
be your
+1
+1
band.
Yeah, that's how it works. So like everyone can come to that wedding if you
Jimmy,
want.
how do you pick your +1s for this?
For like a wedding.
Yeah, because you're going to be experiencing a very romantic time.
I think it's I end up just not taking a +1 because apart from me and Jake, of course, yes, going together. Well, no, you leave the +1. You don't take like a +1 where it's like, oh yeah, what do you want to do this weekend? Wedding.
Not even a wedding of someone you've never met.
Yes, yeah. It's a strong move there. So like you have to leave it.
Raquel, no, we won't talk about music now. We'll talk about weddings instead.
But isn't like music and love
Is it?
and
Music of the soul.
all
Commitment.
connected?
Of course.
I guess like music brings people together, and the wedding is the prime example of everyone coming together to celebrate, two people who are
Talking
deeply in love.
purely in metaphors about music right now.
Yeah, of course, always.
I thought we were talking
that's
about
the
the
truest
volcano as well.
language.
Yeah, that's the truest language. Exactly.
Also, I think rest and being social, what we've experienced these past 2 weeks, is very vital to all of this combined. Because maybe the New Year's, maybe someone's going to fall in love, someone's going to write some good music, James is going to find that +1. You never know what it's going to bring.
Shall we?
You never know, Jamie. This could be the year you find a +1.
So in 12 months, we'll reconvene and see what's happened, basically. We'll be like, how's the new music going? How the show's going? And did I find the +1 to that wedding?
Ooh, exciting.
The big questions. The big questions. With that in mind,
Do you have an actual question for us, though?
A single question.
I think we asked one.
I love after taking us on a journey through multiple places. You're like, do you actually have a question?
We actually said, how was the tour?
Yeah. That was actually genuinely it. Like, how was the tour and how's it good? This year, looking ahead as well, after all of the tours and everything that's going on,
Now the future.
the future. For you guys, is it very much like, obviously, like doing a lot of that touring? Is it very much like, right, looking ahead to the next chapter for you immediately, or like, is it very much like continuing that and playing live and like?
I mean, we finished tour, we had our Christmas holiday, and now we're in Bognor Regis.
So the answer is we just keep going.
Yeah.
We keep going forevermore.
No, you can't control the future.
It's true. Ooh.
But I mean, we are going on tour in February. We're playing a bunch of shows around the UK.
Dream Nails.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
We thought that
yes.
would be
Tour.
quite
Yes,
funny.
Dream Tour.
Dream tour.
And they're also mates of ours and the Dream Tour. And then we're doing shows up until that we know of through the summer, and I guess it's just music live. This is what bands do.
Play shows, write songs.
I'm also in a real mood to write songs right now. I feel like after that 3 months of touring, I get very inspired on tour.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a voice note on my phone that you recorded that I
It is
never listened to
sexy.
it. But I need to send that to you.
Maybe don't listen to it.
I'll send it you.
Okay, great. That was
Without
fun.
listening.
No, it's actually a great book. But you get so inspired when you're on tour, and I think it's so important to rest and then come back and work through, sexy voice notes.
I guess also you're
You can listen
taking
to
in
it.
so much when you're on tour.
Totally.
Like you must spend the whole time like new places, new experiences. Like you say, like it is quite an inspiring thing.
Karl Marx's head.
Karl Marx's head. And then if you are really, really busy, it's like, okay, when do I actually turn this into stuff?
Yeah.
Like when do I have the time to do this? But luckily you've got another big tour coming up. So
yeah, that'll be the time to do it. That'll be the time to do it. Whilst on the road and also doing another big
But
tour.
during the pandemic, we didn't write that great music.
We're all sad, melancholic,
so
pandemic
sad.
sad songs from the Fish Factory.
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
one.
of course. Yeah, you know about
Yes, the
this.
Fish
You know
Factory.
about
Yeah.
I think it is just for us. It's the adrenaline. It's the community. It's about experiences. Everyone's different how they write.
Yeah.
But then you do need time to sit down and process. Maybe that's what it's like being human. You live a life and then you process it.
I admire the capability to turn all of the nonsense that we're saying into something that actually means something from all three. Maybe this actually isn't just you two talking nonsense, is what you're basically saying to us.
It's profound.
I think it really is. I mean, when you look back 10 years' time, think about these podcast
When
sessions.
I think about Bognor Regis in 10
and
years'
Bognor
time.
Regis.
Well,
This is our 4th year of doing a podcast, I think.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's so fun to be here, by
Harrowing.
the way.
Harrowing.
I
Yes.
love how it's like half the shops are closed, the other are open, and it's just so surreal being in a holiday resort in January.
It always feels to me like
It's
a bit
wonderful.
of like a film set thing.
Yeah,
like
it feels like a film.
it does feel strange. I'd quite like to come back when it is actually all open, but then it would be full of families, and it'd be quite strange if I was just walking around going,
Different
"That was
vibe,
closed last time I was here."
It's the only way to start the year, I believe, as the Dork Review last year said. So,
But it's so great actually to do that.
yeah.
To go to a seaside resort and it's freezing cold, but it's packed with people dancing and listening to music.
It's true.
It's
I
beautiful.
mean, not only for your set later on, which we're all looking forward to, and I'm sure will be a wonderful time, but
Wonderful
also
journey.
like see people later on. People are going for it. People are gonna have a wonderful time. So, with the notion of Bognor Regis in our mind, we're gonna play a game now.
Ooh, here we go.
This is now we're on to the serious questions.
Excellent.
already run over. In the first half.
Well, you can just edit a bunch of the laughter out.
No.
Oh no! The laughter remains. The laughter remains.
Edit
Jake,
everything else
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
It's 20 minutes of cackling.
what it does is it start with "Hello, Dreamwife," and then we're gonna play a game, and then there's nothing in between. Jake, do you want to tell us about the game? That's what we're gonna play.
I'd love to. I've trapped the mic under my stool. Bit of behind the scenes action for people at home there. This is a big weekend. This is the first big weekend of the year. So we're going to give you a couple of other options of big weekends that you might want to do, and we want to know which one you'd prefer to do and why. So number one, would you prefer to spend your big weekend living in a tree or living in a cave?
I think we know what it has to be for you, B.
Yeah, but I also love caves.
You do really love.
When you said tree, I was like, absolutely tree. And then you said cave, and I was like, shit. Oh, no.
Oh no, my two favorite things.
Well, actually, you hit the nail there.
Wow.
The two best places.
If you would have mentioned a house, oof, far from it.
The roots came out into the
No, you can't have both. You can't have both.
You can't have both. You can't have both. It's got
Probably a tree. Then.
I think the vote. I mean, my vote is tree, even though I do see a lot of caves.
And a lot
being
of
from
value
Iceland.
and joy and beauty and eroticism in caves.
Oh,
Is that the same with trees, or is that a little bit more?
But I think they're slightly less erotic.
Yeah. It's
but they are.
Trees are slightly less erotic. That's the last.
Slightly.
Slightly though. So what are we looking at here? Trees, caves.
I think it's got to be tree.
It's trees.
Unanimously
It-
tree.
it- yeah.
Unanimously tree. But like,
I love
close,
being high
close
up.
runner-up.
high up in trees. we're done. We're sorted. How about a stag hen weekend? So, like, a bachelor party, if you will, or a knitting circle.
Okay, we met in Brighton and
Yes.
went to uni there.
Yes.
Every weekend, I tried to leave Brighton
Yeah.
because of the stag and hen do's that
Well, you can
overtook
just
the
avoid
city.
West Street, and then the rest of it's fine.
Couldn't
I
avoid.
lived there for 3 years.
If it was like
I
us
grew up
three
there. You could just
doing
avoid
it,
the
it'd
one
be
street.
fun.
Yeah, Alice, are you gonna do a stag hen?
Oh, yeah.
And like, I want to go on that big weekend.
Like we've got it coming up.
Oh.
Okay,
We've
what's
got to
happening?
plan this. We've got
Yeah,
to
this
plan
would be a
Alice's
really
stag
road.
hen.
This would be a really road move. You're like, definitely not that, and you're like, well, we do have that planned in actually.
yeah,
yeah.
What do you want to do?
But we have to plan it. We have to plan it for you. That's how this works.
Is it
Look
happening
out.
in a tree?
Unfortunately, there was
actually
only a
thinking,
cave big enough.
yeah,
so
cave.
yeah.
Slightly more sexy.
Sorry,
yeah.
guys. I went for sexy over fun. Sorry. I haven't booked a stripper, but we will be going spelunking. So.
Fuck's sake.
What was the knitting part?
It's just a knitting circle.
We could do knitting at the stag hen.
But Alice
Oh.
No,
would
that'd
not
be-
like a knitting
no,
circle
not
at
for
her
Alice.
stag too.
You're like, that's not gonna happen. Great. Solid.
Tree, maybe. Yeah. They're
Okay,
both
so
very social.
Alice's big weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alice's
yeah,
big
yeah.
weekend
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very firm choice.
in a tree.
How about a weekend of extreme sports or a weekend of looking after some cats?
I'm gonna say cats personally, but what are you? You're a bit of an adrenaline junkie,
I also love cats.
I don't like cats.
Would you rather
Wow.
do extreme? Would you rather
know.
bungee jump?
Well, I like one cat.
They
But
can come.
Is it a specific one? Like,
You used to hate cats. I don't know what's happened to
I
you.
know. Who are you?
I fell in love, and then suddenly I was open to being nice to animals.
Did Daisy give you that little brain worm?
Yeah, I think it's like
You know the
suddenly
one.
love opened up, and I was like, animals are so cute. But I was never bothered before. Like,
And then now, cats. You're like, yeah, cats definitely. Like,
owls, yeah.
yeah, there was no
I thought
pause.
you really didn't like cats.
No, I didn't.
Oh, look at you in love. The world and everything.
Look at you in love. Look at you.
I'll do my extreme sports. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we always say that rock and roll is an extreme sport.
Hey.
And so maybe
Oh.
we'll just play some shows.
Yeah. I'll always choose rock and roll over
And on that
cats.
note,
Yeah.
let's play a show.
Yeah.
Extreme sport.
Yeah, the extreme sports to come later this
Yeah,
evening.
yeah.
Bring your
to-
own cats.
To be fair. So we've got, I think, a majority for extreme sports.
If it's rock and roll, I'm down.
Yeah, okay.
Also maybe
that's a cop
climbing.
out. Sorry, that's
I'd like
a
to
cop
go
out.
climbing.
That's not extreme.
Yes, it is.
What,
what do you
what are you
define
climbing?
extreme?
What are you climbing?
Like
I think
a-
that's what makes it extreme.
A cliff.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. If it's like a climbing wall with like sponge underneath, that's not extreme.
Okay.
What kind of climbing do you do?
Well, you know, people that go like rock climbing on a climbing wall, that's not extreme. You're just in a room.
Right, you mean like climbing like actual mountains and like
That
that
would
sort
be
of like,
extreme.
right, okay.
That is
Right.
fun.
You have to be like exposed to nature for it to be extreme, do you think?
I honestly haven't.
I think so. No, I to be fair, yeah, I think that is actually genuinely, yeah, exposed to
have be
nature, the harshness of it.
exposed to the
What
fierce
about you
eroticism of nature.
two? What are we talking about? Is it extreme sports?
You
Is
know,
it
like
cats?
I would say bungee jumping would be, or like windsurfing.
Like, how is bungee jumping a sport?
I don't actually know. I haven't thought about that. If dance is a sport, bungee jumping can be a sport.
fair.
I think.
Is darts a sport?
Apparently so.
Technically.
Yeah, apparently so.
I guess it counts.
Ballroom dancing is extreme.
Yeah, let's do ballroom dancing. Can we do like three-way ballroom dancing?
We're missing one person.
Oh yeah, Mr. Pavley.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he was a ballroom dancer.
I think he'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd be really good. The best partner out of all of us. Let's face it.
So
That's
you wouldn't-
timekeeping.
You wouldn't choose cats?
I mean, I would, but that's because I hate all sports. So they're all
Hey,
extreme
even
to me.
rock and
I'm just
roll.
bad at them all.
I get alarmed by extreme sports. I just think like that's a risk to my life that I could avoid. Like, you know, I'd be annoyed if I died like climbing a mountain.
Jamie is also alarmed by online banking, though. So.
I am
Online
to be fair.
banking is alarming.
It is a little bit much. I don't need that on my phone. I'm just convinced that people are going to nick my phone.
Jamie doesn't have a wallet and carries his card loose in his pocket, but he's worried about online banking.
Living on the edge.
These are true. These are true.
These are all facts.
These are all facts, and
That's
these
a
are
lot
all
of
these are all
information for your
true.
listeners.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Jamie has a
I like to check people are paying attention by seeing whether any fraud is committed against Jake.
Anyone tries to pickpocket me? Great.
The podcast over there, mate, trying to pickpocket you.
Wonderful. To be
and you
fair.
won't find out because of online banking.
Yeah.
Fan of the
I'm glad this
podcast.
podcast is ending with my potential losing my property, basically, and losing any
About
money.
your address on one of them.
You did, and my phone number once. That was really good. So if you listen back, I've not had any calls, thank God. One more for you.
The plus
The
one.
plus one. How did you meet the plus one? It was someone who rang me after Jake leaked my number on a
You're
podcast.
welcome, man.
Thank you. Really appreciated. One last one for you. Baking the world's biggest cake or cooking the world's biggest roast dinner?
I'm saying neither. That sounds
It
like
feels
a
like
lot
a
of work.
waste of food.
Everyone's going to, I guess,
Will the whole community come together to consume it?
You don't have to do this afterwards. It's a hypothetical. I chose not to make the big cake because of all the waste.
I want to go on holiday in a tree.
There's no room to bake the cake in the tree. That's true.
Exactly.
Oh, that's the one. It's basically like baking or cooking a big roast.
Or a cake.
Or a cake.
I mean, when we were out at that fish factory in Iceland, we made some nice roasts together. We roasted a lot of vegetables.
I like barbecuing.
Can we barbecue the roast or barbecue cake?
Yeah.
Yeah, cooking meat outside is a really great thing.
This has been really, really great, but I really think you're the worst we've ever had at knowing what an either-or question is. Every single one you've been like, maybe both, or I think neither.
We know what we want.
And it's not anything we're offering.
And also, it's just we each know what we want.
It's true. It's true.
We're not really good at the collective, are we? But
pretty good at the
besides
collective.
being a band,
Besides the big one, when it comes to hypotheticals about baking a cake, it all falls apart.
We all crumble.
We agreed on a barbecue. Come on.
hey,
Fine,
barbecue.
you can do a big barbecue instead.
For the whole community.
We await the big barbecued cake in due course. And with that in mind, Dreamwife, it's been truly a pleasure here in Butlins.
That show is going to be one barbecued cake.
Look forward to the show. Thank you once again. We will see you to talk about barbecue cakes in the future at some point, for sure. A pleasure.
What song are we playing, Jamie?
What song are we playing? What song would you like us to play?
What, our own song?
Your own song. Yeah.
We have many choices. We're finding it hard with just two, let alone like a whole back catalogue of releases. Like,
Can you just play the whole album?
Play the whole
Can you
album.
play a song from our only EP called Lolita?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oldie.
Yes, we can. Let's do that.
Excellent.
Done.
And I've been your Lolita, and I've been your joy. I've been your savior, and I've handled like a boy. I've been your Lolita, and I've been your joy, and I've seen it all and more. Did I fall? Too super, too sensual, too super, too sensual. Too super, too sentimental, too super, too sentimental. You slip it up. Too super, too sensual, too super, too sensual.
We're here, Rockaway Beach. Still, you know that because you've been listening to the show. So us introducing it every single time makes it a bit weird, but it's okay. We're back now with the one and only Deadletter. Guys, how are we doing? How is life? How is it to be at Butlins on the first weekend of January?
Doing good. We're happy to be here and have something to do so early in the year.
Something to do is the main pull away. Just like, well, it gets us out the house. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
Have you been to Butlins before, any of you? Or is this
No.
virgin territory?
Not to Butlins, but I've been to what was it called? Blue Dolphin in Filey, something similar.
Haven't heard of that one. Normally it's a
It's a
Pontins or a
similar vibe.
Butlins, but you know.
Similar
Kind
vibe.
of like holiday camp sort of
Smaller,
like
much smaller.
Yeah, yes.
It was good. It was good
Yeah.
fun when you're young.
Yeah.
This is probably a bit overwhelming. This is like, you know,
Yeah.
like Vegas,
This is
isn't it?
big leagues, man. This is really scary.
It's like a cruise ship.
Yeah, you're kind of like, everyone's kind of trapped here. Like, people stay
Yeah.
here the whole weekend. People just can't leave. And they say, like, oh, okay, we're all just together now. Like, there's no other option. You're like, we're going to have to get on with everybody. There is literally no choice. How was, I guess, the end of last year for you guys? It feels like you guys just, like, touring wise, obviously just hit it and go and go and go and go and go. Like, I guess, how was, looking things at the end of last year, and I guess seeing those venues grow and get bigger? I mean, like London, for example, with Scala. Like, how is that to kind of see, like, firsthand and kind of like witness that?
I mean, it's overwhelming. I suppose you just kind of, it's odd because sometimes these things just keep coming at you, and if you don't actually take a moment to step back and think about what you've done, you can take it for granted a bit. But I think upon reflection, having a bit of a break, and looking back across the year that we've just had, it's been slightly unbelievable at points.
Yeah, I guess because once you're like, well, if you're just in it, you're like, right, well, we're looking at what's the next date, what's the next show, what's kind of like that. And that's the kind of like feeling, to be fair. Like, is that very much kind of like still it? Just when flag, someone did try and just come in just then. And that's why you heard a door smash in the middle of nowhere, to be fair. And it was the very nice shuffle away that I really enjoyed there. Yes. So I guess when you're in it all the time, and I guess like, is it very much always for you, right, the next show, next thing, like looking ahead maybe can be quite hard to do, I guess, at times?
Yeah, maybe. I think maybe day 3 of the tour we went on in autumn last year. Well, September, October, and November. I think we looked at day 3 and we're all starting to think, oh, getting a bit tired. And day 3 didn't even mean the third date. I think that meant the first date of 40 shows to come. And at that point, it definitely felt like there was a lot coming our way. But, you know, I could have gone again, to be honest, by the time we got back. We did some recording, and then by the time we'd finished that, I could have gone and done some more gigs. I was getting quite restless, to be honest with you.
Starting to get itchy now. You're just like, okay, I'm used to just being on the road at this point. I have to get out again. Like,
You do find yourself, I don't know whether it's horribly or sort of blissfully institutionalized. Because you spend like 2 months with every decision's kind of made for you. Other than what to eat on the evening, and even then, sometimes it's slim pickings.
Even then, it's like, it's this.
And then suddenly you're back and you're given the opportunity to do something that's your own choice, and it's really overwhelming. You don't know what to do. You're kind of like, where's the van? Where have I got to be? And why is no one shouting at me?
Yeah, why is no one telling me that I have to be up at this time to do this thing? Like a real rush like that. I guess like almost looking back at the year as well, like, were there, I guess, particular standouts that you can think of that were like, oh, that's like a moment where you're like, oh, things are really clicking, like things are happening. Like, can you remember that kind of like through the year?
Yeah, I mean, when we got told we were playing Glastonbury, that was pretty like that was pretty big for all of us.
Yeah.
And like these two as well were like, we're never gonna go to Glastonbury unless they got invited to play.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's pretty.
That's it. Lay the marker. Lay the marker.
It happened. Like,
Was that like pre or post like Deadletter existing? It's just when you're a kid, you're like, you know what? Unless they invite me.
that was years ago. We said that. We all said that. But then I got offered a free ticket the year before, and I was like, I'm
gonna go.
fucking going. So I went. I broke the pact. But these two, I mean, we're all. It's like that was the biggest thing ever. And then also to be invited by Billy Bragg, it was kind of like, you know, it was kind of a bit of a dream come true for the first time to do it. So that was a big moment. Yeah. And then, you know, deciding that Scala was the place to play for our headline show of like in London after the tour. That was when we figured that out. And when we sold that out, that was fucking great.
Yeah, you're looking at the like number of people in the room. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
there's people.
mate.
There's quite a few people here.
It was
who wanna
busy,
come.
and you know, doing it in December was fun as well. We had a break on the tour.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like everyone was so up for it. You know, Shane McGowan had just died as well, so it's like everyone's, you know, going for it.
Yeah.
It also feels like, I mean, obviously from your point of view, probably not, but like it feels to have happened really quickly. Like bands playing Scala, and like, normally there's a hell of a lot of run up to that, whereas with you guys, it seemed to be like, there's this new band called Deadletter. Oh, they sold out Scala and they're playing Glastonbury. Like it really did feel like last year was the year that it just fucking went, you know?
No, it was great. It was, and as I say, it's still quite overwhelming. It's not, none of this is taken for granted. But I think what else was really great at the Scala show was just the sort of diversity amongst the crowd. I don't want to say fallen victim because that sounds really negative, but you know, in the past there have been moments where our crowd has been mainly of the sort of middle age.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's definitely nothing wrong with that. But I think to walk out of Scala and actually see a really nice, diverse sort of age range and even gender range, it was great, you know.
Yeah,
It makes you think that maybe the word that you're, or the noise that you're making is starting to transcend just one area of the population.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess as well, it's like, you know, I guess for like you guys as well, you kind of like want to look out and see kind of like people that I guess like are just like you in the nicest way. Like, and again, it's like, it's great to have that kind of like mix, but like to see that firsthand as well must be kind of like, okay, we're on a right path here. We're on to something in that direction. Have you been able to kind of like with all the touring as well, just have time to be like, right, what's next musically for you guys? What's next for like getting stuff out there? Like, is that kind of like something that you're like, okay, yes, that's also something we're able to do?
Yeah, we're always planning ahead.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
Yeah, we've been very busy. We've written a
Behind
lot
the
of
scenes.
music.
Yeah.
We've recorded a lot of music, and we're just working out what to do with it, really.
Release it.
Yeah. In due time, it'll be.
I suppose we should like, at some point.
It will come out at some point.
Yeah. And I guess like for next year as well, do you have that kind of feeling of like, right, we want to get to, do you have that ambition of exactly where you want to get to in that next year after a year like this, which has been like, you say like non-stop, this.
I mean, I'd love to gig as much, if not more, this year.
Yeah.
I'd love to for somebody to take us on tour as well for a little bit. That would be really nice. And then we're looking forward to a tour at the end of next year. Hopefully, bigger shows all around Europe. And UK. So keep aiming for that. You know, hopefully some more fun stuff comes up along the way.
Just like
travel to some places we've never been.
Yes,
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Like Bognor Regis, for
Bognor
example.
Regis, yeah.
Like Butlins.
You started the year already in a place you were like, I don't know how I've ended up here.
I'm happy to see you wherever.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have a similar pact where you were like, we're not going to come to Butlins until we get booked as well?
No, we actually just said we wouldn't.
Yeah. That's exactly.
We almost didn't, but we're glad we did.
Here we are today.
Then they said the words free buffet.
That's the word. That's
Yet
the way.
to see that, actually.
Yeah. Just want a flag. Yeah.
It's pretty special.
Is it?
It's pretty special.
Oh, okay.
Is it bottomless?
Yes. Too bottomless, I would say. Might go for a good hour afterwards. Hurt me. Yeah. It does hurt me.
Yeah. It's a hefty one, so maybe don't destroy the stage, Aoife. We're just looking at the fridge. Ooh.
Fanta, please.
All the choice.
Love that you had the mic up then. Fanta. I'm fine, thank you. But most polite man of the weekends. First offer of a drink we've had.
Yeah. Greatly appreciated. Looking ahead to the show, but of course, we've got a bit of a game that we like to play here to round out, obviously, the Butlins weekend. Jake, do you want to explain the game?
It's me. So anyone listening will have heard this 4 times now, I think. How many doors are there in this room? He would just keep popping up out of nowhere. Butlins is a big weekend, the biggest weekend, some would say. We're going to give you a couple of other examples of big weekends. We want you to pick between 2 and let us know which one you'd prefer and why. Sound good?
Sounds good.
So would you rather spend a weekend hiding in a tree or hiding in a cave?
Tree, better view, more chance
we were
of meeting
gonna-
birds.
Wow, yeah. This is, yeah.
That's quite good. Yeah.
All right.
You going to go with
You
the
can
tree?
have that one. I mean, I was maybe going to say cave, just because it's like taking you right back to first humankind. Do you know what I mean? Really get to know you.
Sorry, I didn't realise we had to discuss. I just jumped at it.
You answered it like it was like an exam question.
I've already done
Tree,
that before,
next.
you know.
Yeah.
So a collective. Are we looking at a collective cave?
I'm happy to.
Well, no, I mean, if we're talking all 3 of us, then it's a different story. I don't know if I could share a tree with all 3 of you.
I think you can have a tree each. They'll be next to each other.
Right,
Adjoining trees.
sure. I'm thinking
Where is the tree?
Logistically, though, you could have a fire in the cave. It's more social. We could cook.
Yeah.
In a tree, we're just shouting at each other.
Because also, what if we end up on 3 trees by the M1 or something?
Yeah, yeah. It's true.
Too much work, cave.
Cave.
Did you say hammer? Or a
Hammock.
I need a hammer
said
to be
hammer.
comfy.
You're gonna need a hammock to be comfy, or it's got to be a massive, massive tree, and you know you're not gonna fall off a branch.
That's yeah.
We could
okay.
build a nest.
Tree.
Next one for you. A stag hen weekend or a knitting circle?
I mean, I can't knit, so I feel as though a knitting circle would be useless.
You just be
So
there.
Stag hen do is very open. You
Yeah.
can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's true.
stag hen do.
Stag hen.
It's a solid
Stag
stag
hen.
hen with good reason.
In space or in the middle of the ocean?
Space we've never been before.
Yeah.
You not?
I'd love to go to space.
Surely.
Yeah, space.
Space.
Just giving up holding the mic there as well. Just for anyone who didn't hear, space was the word.
Space.
That's incredible. Staying in a 6-bedroom house with a load of monkeys or a load of hyenas. There's no danger to life as well, just as a flag there. So don't be like, oh, the hyenas might kill me.
Are we talking tamed? Like
No danger.
There's no danger.
yeah.
Hyenas
I feel like you
freak
could.
me out.
I feel like you could teach them how to play poker or something.
Yeah, let's go monkey.
For poker.
Let's go monkey.
That's a good night, to be fair. Poker night with the monkeys.
You could teach them how to play poker, but pretty stupid, so you'd probably win a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what they've got to give, but I'll take
Money
it.
they got.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never asked a monkey their employment situation before, so who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, if they've got a 6-bedroom house,
yeah,
Also, you reckon it's the monkey's house?
yeah, they're the homeowners.
Yeah.
Whose house are we in?
You're like, it's not going to be us. It's going to be someone's house.
that's what it is. It's just like a who done it. We just work out with the monkeys whose house it is all night.
It becomes like a sitcom. It
Yeah.
becomes like a comedy show, basically. That's a strong one. Monkeys it is.
Would you rather spend a weekend in the Big Brother house or the Love Island villa?
Oh,
I actually don't know anything about the latter.
I just know it's warmer.
But you do have
Is
to
it?
walk around without your top on.
Do
Or
you?
be that guy that they always have who has a shirt on because he's not as buff as the rest of them, and it's a bit sad. But he's still like in the top 5% of buffness in the world, you know?
I'm really struggling with this one. The idea of having cameras on me constantly like that, it freaks me out.
Swim in the Big Brother house.
They have a hot tub at times, I believe, but not like a.
There's a pool on the island, isn't there?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Let's go island. Fuck it.
Is it just the 3 of us? Or do we have to be with a load of sort of Z-listers?
Yeah, I think like you're in with the Z-listers. But I think also what you got to remember, sometimes when people go in, if they're really boring, they don't get any screen time. So if you don't want to be on camera, you just have to be as boring as possible for the entire time you're in.
That's bad. I'll just do what I normally do.
What are we going for then? The
Love Island.
Love Island.
Good
for the warm
Christ.
and for the pool. So those are the key reasons.
Yes.
A couple more for you. Would you rather be on an island with all of your family for the weekend, or an island with everyone from your secondary school?
All of my family.
Family Street.
Family all day long.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. Yes, you're there like secondary school. I'm not hanging around with those
If it
people.
was us with all of our families, we'd have a pretty wicked time.
I think both could be fun, but I think the family is safer.
Yeah.
Somehow.
There is less risk associated with it. That's the
Yeah.
better option. Yeah, that's a solid one. And one more, Joe.
Last one. Would you rather spend a weekend doing extreme sports or cat sitting?
I'm a fan of extreme sports personally. I like it.
Yeah, I'll take the adrenaline.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wow, straight in. Cat didn't even get a look in.
Not this time. I don't often get the chance to, go skiing. So, man, I can look after a cat, anytime I want.
Anytime you want.
Yeah, my girlfriend's got a cat.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's not just like walking past people's houses, like, I'm free. If you need it. Anyone? Well, on that note, that about does us. We're going to play one of your songs now, and you get to choose which one it is, as long as it's available on the platforms we'll be using. So, one that's been released, please.
Let's just go for Degenerate, shall we?
Yeah. All right. This is Degenerate by Deadletter.
Well, do you ever get the feeling that you're looking in a mirror? But with inspection, see that this is no reflection. No, it's more an infection under skin, it's causing lesions. This anti-doppelganger smits over your eyes with good reason, while following allegations yields nothing but goodwill. Makes a stark accusation and carries on until notes compared by outsiders show the same result. Tranquilize this escape tiger and bring it to a halt. Degenerate Anonymous.
And here we are, back at Rockaway Beach, day 3, the Sunday, and we're here with the one and only the Cribs. Guys, how are we doing? How is life?
It's fine. We're at Butlins, so it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like we're more to be honest, we were more Pontins men, really. Like growing up, fully paid up members of the Crocodile Club. So this it kind of feels like we're doing. It feels a little covert what we're doing here.
Didn't Pontins close recently?
I heard that the Southport
a couple of weeks
Pontins
ago.
is gutted. If that's true, my childhood just ended. So
when people went to the Hacienda to take bricks when they knocked it down, you'll be down there. I need some memorabilia from Pontins.
We'll be I'll be listening to Bad on my Walkman, the Michael Jackson record, and just getting misty eyed,
just reliving the times,
singing The Only Way Is Up.
Yeah, exactly. How do you kind of feel? I guess at the start of this year and kind of obviously kicking off the year to come, and also I guess because last year was quite a quiet one for you guys and kind of everything like that. How does it feel? I guess gearing up into this one, is it very much a different change of pace now?
No. We're essentially retired at this point.
Yeah.
I think the change of pace is it's kind of intentional. It's I know that we've always been pretty much we've stayed active. Yeah, we've stayed active for years. There's been so many times over our career where we've been we have to take a break. There's been some points where it's been critical that we take a break, but so we were meant to take a break after the 3rd album. Then Johnny joined, and then we were going to take a break after the 4th album, and Johnny left, and so we had to roll straight into a 5th album, and then we just kept going from then. So it's the last. The last album came out during the pandemic, which was that was just an unpleasant. It's the great clarifier in some ways, because it's we'd already been through. It's an age-old story at this point, but we'd been through this big saga of getting our catalog back, and then we'd recorded Night Network, and we were really into it, really happy with how it came out, and we had to sit on it for a year, and then when we released it, it was during the pandemic. But to be honest, it just made it so that we weren't in a rush to really do anything like that again. It's I wouldn't say it's I won't say that we were damaged by it, but it's just we saw it, that having that enforced pause, and then also the challenges of doing that. It was just we're just not in a. We decided that from now on we're just gonna do things when we feel like it a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. And I think we realized that we didn't have to be as I think we'd always had this underlying paranoia that if you stop doing stuff, people forget about you, or we just didn't trust ourselves to not be on the road. We're just what's going to happen to us? Are we going to kind of go crazy, or are we just going to be depressed or whatever? But it's so we decided that we're just going to start doing stuff kind of more at our own pace a little bit, and spent most of last year touring the US. That was really busy and not exactly intentional. So we're really enjoying being away. But we are though, we were really enjoying although having said that, even just usually I hate doing sound checks, but doing sound checks today I was it's so familiar, and being in the backstage room, it's so familiar that it's I guess you don't realize that you miss it until you're back in the saddle or whatever. But because it's basically all I've known for my adult life. You know what I mean? So it's like it is weird to now just be kind of like dipping in and out every now and again. It's like there's something kind of it's you don't really dabble with it as an it's something
kind of like going off on a bender or something.
I guess you like cherish the moment a bit more because you're not just like, oh, okay, here we are, another day,
we always
another
know
that.
No, look, I take your point, but it's like we've never been like that. Like it was like every gig, like we're not just saying it. Every gig was like as important as the other.
Yeah,
so it's like we would kill ourselves playing like a regional show, and just like that we would before like a festival show. So it's like that's why it was like I think like ultimately kind of damaging, and why like when we stepped away from it for a bit, we're just like it takes a while to like get decompress and figure yourself out, because it's like it was more than a lifestyle. It was just like it was kind of everything to us.
Yeah.
Sounds so deep, but we don't talk about this stuff.
Yeah. And I guess like you say, like now you can focus on the stuff that you do want to do as and when you kind of like want to do it. And like I guess that for this year as well, that's very much carrying through in terms of we're going to do the shows that we want and whenever we kind of like need or want to do it, and then kind of also just like spend time, like say, in your own lives as well.
It's really nice to be asked. Like these shows, like are really like we're really psyched to be doing them. But it's more a case of like we just don't want to like book like headline shows for the sake of doing it. That's the main thing. Yeah, like, that's the thing you'll notice that we're not doing. It's like doing this and like doing the Leeds show that we're doing, like the Leeds Festival show. That it's really nice to be asked to do that kind of stuff. But it's like we just don't want to be adding shows for the sake of it. Really.
Yeah, exactly. And don't want to kind of like say push that in that a lot of ways and that. So like I guess looking forward to like I guess tonight as well. Like I guess when you guys do get back together, is it always just so quick and natural in terms of like kind of like it all fits into place almost like second nature?
I think as far as like the like playing the performing together and playing the songs, it's like I don't think we've ever struggled with it. It's nice to have like a couple of days just to just to like, well, for a start, like you've got to get your calluses back on your fingers and stuff like that, and you just like there's something about playing together that it just you notice it becomes a lot like a lot smoother when we first start playing together. It's always like it's probably like 90% there always, but like it's nice to have a couple of days to get it to get it perfect. But
since people last saw us, I ain't picked the bass up once. Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? So it's like, so it's funny. It's like when we get back together, like we've had 3 practices, and the first practice, like Rice, it's pretty much like 90% there. It's like, like we do other stuff as well. Like, like in the past, it was always like, oh, we've got to keep getting together to write, and we've got to keep getting together, because we can't write on the road, so we'll come off the road and then we'll get together and write. Whereas this time we've been taking time off. It's like I went out to Portland to like do some writing with Gaz, and we didn't really do any writing. We just hung out and did other stuff. You know what I mean? It's like better. It's better to do that and not. We still got some work done, but it's like it's better to do that and rather than. I just don't want it to feel like a job at all. You know what I mean? I just really, really don't want it to feel like. You can do that, and it can be effective. But for us, it's like we find that like the time that we spend together is better spent like being with each other and vibing off one another. And then like all of a sudden, you might like have a really productive like 1 hour session and write loads of stuff. Whereas like you could just go in there at like 10 a.m. and practice all day and just just get like the same amount of output at the end, So it sounds like I'm trying to validate and justify being a slacker.
But it's like we're just trying to justify to ourselves why we're just not doing anything. At the
But
minute,
I guess there's always the feeling, isn't there, of like having to like put the hours in, but you don't want to end up like resenting it, and as you say, coming out with the same or probably less
Yeah, we
quality
just-
stuff because you've been forcing yourself to go in
we
again
just
and
work
again.
better when we feel like it, really. And like the pandemic burnt us out. I mean, and like I'm not complaining about it. It was like having the record to release like gave us a distraction from everything else that was going on. But then we had a bunch of like leftover songs, and we thought like it'd be fun to do a singles club afterwards. You know, for the because like people were still kind of stuck at home. So like if they get a new single every month, that'll be a really nice thing. But I think that was maybe the thing that burnt us out, where we were just like, you know, like it just felt like we were just oversaturating it or something. It just made us feel like, let's just pull back from that for a at while. that point it felt like we were just working on music because that's what you do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I do, so I better like, you know, work on some of these songs and finish some of these off. And we just don't want to it's just a different attitude now, that's all. It's just a different attitude.
And how is it playing? I mean, is this one of the weirder places that you've done a gig, or are we not even close? Because normally when we talk to people at this festival,
Well, let's just say you're
like,
not even close, but that doesn't mean it's
no, but
not
you know
weird.
what I mean? Like normally we'll speak to people, they're like one album in. You guys have been around long enough that I feel like there's probably some odder locations that you've played in.
Like the Cambridge University Ball, which we played in 2004, that was pretty fucking weird. But like,
is that where they all dress in like?
Well, I was watching a movie Salt, but is it called Saltburn?
Oh, yeah,
that really popular movie. I was watching it with my wife the other night. I was like, we basically played one of these shows. We played one of these events when we were like 23 and like and fucked I've had
up.
that before. Like that Paul Sykes documentary where he's doing like a raffle in a working men's club.
Yeah.
And it looks so parochial and so nuts. And as it zooms out, I realise, we've played that. We've done that gig.
Before the band was signed, we played the Queen's what were it? Jubilee?
No, it was a Silver Jubilee.
The Silver
so it was
Jubilee,
ages
that's a
ago.
long time
Oh no,
ago.
no, it can't have been the Silver
And
Jubilee. 2002, whatever.
And the
Golden
PA
Jubilee. I
The
think.
PA was just like hi-fi speakers, like that somebody had set from, and the spotty
Run by the
teenager
council.
running the thing. Just got the title sound engineer by default, but
And
the gig
during the World Cup, so it's like all the lads and stuff like drunk in the park, and we're just getting flipped.
Yeah, I can
off
see how this is not even close on the weirder
but
gigs.
the main thing was that like during the gig, a bulldog ended the show because he was tied to the power supply that was supplying the stage, and the bulldog walked off.
Yeah, we just got up and walked off and pulled the
This feels like you basically played inside like a political cartoon.
It
here.
was
Like the British Bulldog
that's
ended.
That's a good point. Yeah, like we're
That
getting.
was weird.
We're getting flipped off by all these like rowdy football guys, so we smashed the stage up from what I remember. Like
From what I remember.
but we used to do that a lot anyway. So it's like you kind of
blends
forget.
in. Yeah, at that point.
But having said that, this venue, it's actually like it's pretty. It's a rad venue. If it wasn't like under the on the Butlins site, you'd just be like, oh, it's kind of a sick venue. It's
also, I mean, because we came in now, like it's not open yet. Like we're doing this before the actual venue. Obviously, we walked in and kind of didn't realize how huge it is from when we were in here and it's full. Obviously, it looks pretty big. But going in there now, it's like, wow, this feels to me like one of the places they'd have one of those like business conferences that like the sort of Jordan Belfont like kind of things there. It's got this strange ballroom vibe to it, like corporate.
It sounded good like on soundcheck, and but yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird. We were up this morning, like me and Gaz were in here in this venue till like 3 a.m. last night. It got pretty dark. It was like kind of last days of like Rome at one point.
The Chris Hawkins DJ set.
Yeah.
We were at that. I enjoyed when it broke and it just played the beginning of that Fatboy Slim song for about 15 minutes.
And it did the same thing on Kaiser Chiefs Ruby as well.
And then he didn't bother playing it when it got fixed.
Because when that started, I was like, "Oh, cool!"
This is
and I was,
a
looking
bit
forward
edgy.
to it, and then it just didn't happen. But like, but then first thing this morning, we were sat down having breakfast with all the punters, and for whatever reason our name wasn't on the breakfast list, so we had to snuck in round the back and just me and Ross had to open
into the buffet.
No, me and Ross had to open the fire door to get Gary in. So for all intents and purposes, even though we're the head, whatever you want to call it, the main band tonight, it's like for all intents and purposes, we looked more like just some chancers who were just trying to get a free breakfast.
Snuck in round the back for just the buffet.
Last year, so This is for Dork magazine. Last year there was an issue with the booking, and we were down on every list as Mr. Dork.
Oh no, we were down as Mr. Cribs. Yeah.
So we had to go up to it was always a different person who hadn't seen us before. So every day you'd be there hungover, like, can I go into breakfast? My name is Dork.
And there's 4 of us.
Yeah. Being bullied by Butlins.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they must do that though, because like I was saying, all of us are down as Mr. Cribs, but with a double B, which is I find that so annoying. Like, that's something about that really rubs me the wrong way. It's the kind of thing that, like, the reason why it rubs us the wrong way is it's like when we first started out, it'd be the kind of thing where you get to festivals or you get to clubs and they'd spell it double B, and you just like this club doesn't care that we're playing tonight. That's how you
Someone's
feel.
gone, who is it again?
Exactly.
Sure.
And also, like, if you don't know, why do people assume it's a double B?
strange.
Why would you assume, it's a double B? That's just a completely invented word. But that, like, everyone just thinks that that's what it is. It's weird.
Yeah, that is an odd choice, I think. It's not like someone is saying, they're like, how's that spelt? It's just like, it's a word. It's a normal word.
Dog. It's like, that's double K, obviously. Yeah. It must be.
That's got to be, surely.
What's the Butlins equivalent of the Crocodile Club? We were debating it this morning. You guys have any idea?
Like Billy's.
It was a beaver
like
one.
a little red coat or something, can't you? They have this.
Was it not? I thought it was a beaver. Yeah, but we're talking about the 80s, really.
There's like Billy the Butlins bear is like the thing. I was at Haven Holidays, kids. I was Rory the Tiger.
Bear. That's where I was going. Like, just take me to the bear.
Take me to the bear. They do have a large fiberglass Billy Bear on site if you want to go and pay homage later.
I was trying to win a large cuddly Tyson Fury earlier on. Actually,
we saw this earlier, and we were like, "Is that Tyson Fury?" And then looked closer, it was like, "It is Tyson Fury."
Like way more money than necessary was wasted on that. It's like a quid a go.
Whoever empties that machine later on is going to be really happy anyway.
We're going to have a lot of our per diem.
Yeah. Exactly. We've snuck in for breakfast. We haven't won the Tyson Fury giant doll.
It's not going good.
This is not going well today.
Catches at a low point.
And we're hoping we can lift that back up very shortly for the headline set. Because we are at Butlins, and because, as you say, you've already played a lot of the arcade games and not done well. We've got our own game, but luckily you can't really lose this.
Unluckily, there's no prize, so I guess everyone's a loser.
Yeah, that'd be much better. Jake, do you want to explain what the game is?
It's just a lose, really.
Yeah, but you've agreed to do it now.
Yeah.
So this is obviously the biggest of big weekends at Butlins. So we're going to give you a couple of options of other big weekends. We want to know which one you would rather do and why. So first off, would you rather spend a weekend in space or a weekend in the middle of the sea?
Well, space, because there's a purpose for that. And also you've been really taken care of, obviously, whereas if you're in the middle of the sea, you've been basically just screwed, and that's it. So also it's like, it's going in space is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Anyone can get stuck in the middle of the sea.
Anyone can get stuck in the sea.
I'm just picturing an astronaut, and I'm picturing Tom Hanks.
Well, having said that, I was Tom Hanks in.
I was going to say, Tom Hanks has been an astronaut and trapped in the sea.
He's been exactly. Apollo 13 was much better than Castaway.
I just got back. Just as a caveat to that, I just got back from Hawaii.
You say you just got back from space.
I got back from Hawaii at the end in December, just before Christmas, and I was swimming in the sea out there, and that was. There's nowhere else when you're under the water swimming, it's like there's nowhere else that I'd rather be at that point. It's like so isolating and nice. And I also want to throw that in just so that in case anyone's wondering why the cribs haven't been around much, I just thought it'd give a little bit of nice colour to the. I just paint a picture that is completely inaccurate. But
are you excited to play Butlins? Well, I was recently swimming under the water in Hawaii.
Yeah, it just helps explain the cribs' absence from the live setting.
Is there a new album? No, but I've got my scuba diving certification now, so
that'll do it. A very clear winner there. How about a stag or hen weekend or a knitting circle?
Well, knitting circle, a million%. And plus, we did used to knit as well, didn't we? But only
Ooh.
Like learn how to knit at Pontins. Actually, that's where we learned where to knitting as well. But we didn't know how to finish off, so it'd just be like a really, really long
It'd be like a really long.
hook you want a scarf, basically.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna say knitting circle because the other two options are just too. I'm not mentally prepared for it. I can't think of a worse environment to be in the stag or head party, where it's like a less natural environment for us. Whereas like a knitting circle, it's actually like kind of a natural environment, given that like back in the early days of the band, like, you know, on the DIY circuit, like you'd have like, there'd be like, you know, like sort of like it was like I feel like there was like knitting events like on at Lady Fest and like and like you know, like Riot Girl, like kind of offshoot sort of thing. So I'd been to a few anyway, and it's like it's chill and like kind of radical. So,
you're there, like we have history with knitting, and like we have this in the bag already.
No,
so
it's a lot. Much rather, I'd take it any day.
Yeah, any day. A clear winner there as well, Jake.
Trapped with your entire extended family or with everyone that you went to secondary school with?
I haven't seen anyone that I went to secondary school with in years. Like,
I mean, really, this is like, what kind of small talk do you prefer?
No,
you know?
I would absolutely love to be with everyone from secondary school. I would. But we're a family band, and we spend all our time with family anyway. We do get invited to the reunions, but we're never in the country. But I always think, it'd be cool to do it, but they were never around, and I'm not gonna. Some of the people like that we. Because at secondary school, like there was a core contingent of friends who like all got into Nirvana and all got into smoking weed and you know, forming bands and like and recording on 4-tracks like around about the same time. And it's like that they were like such formative like influences on us that like it's weird that like we haven't seen or spoke to those people since 97, you know what I mean? So like I would definitely I'd love to spend some like go on like some kind of weekend like hang in that situation. It'd be awesome actually.
Maybe in space.
In space.
That'll be the next thing. I think we've probably got time for one more. So how about a weekend of extreme sports or a weekend cat sitting?
I definitely cat sitting. It's well cute. I've got a cat. I spend most of my time hanging out with my cat.
I've just got a kitten. Like she's only 8 weeks old, tiny. So yeah, I've never owned a cat before. But
well, I get my so I'm not here. I mean, I'm not in New York right now. I'm at Butlins, and but when my cat in New York is like looked after by the house by one of the guys that lives in my apartment building. And to me, she's the sweetest cat. But then when I ever ask him out how it's been, he's like, oh, well, she hisses at me every time I come in. And when I came back from Christmas, he hadn't got the email. I came home a day early and I hadn't told him. And I came home and I came in and I'm making a fuss out of the cat. And then I sit down and I noticed that there's like a coat on the couch next to me. I'm like, whose is this coat? And then I look on the floor and I'm like, there's a pair of work boots. I'm like, what is going on? And as I'm walking around the apartment, and I realize that he's the guy that cat sits is in there, but he was slumped on the bed, and it was like there was no bedclothes on, just a bare mattress, and I thought he was dead, and I thought that the cat maybe had something to do with it.
The last thing you heard was that the cat was like having a go, and it was getting tense there.
Yeah, and then I walk in, and he's just like utterly prone on a bare mattress, but he had earplugs in, so he didn't hear me coming, which is why I thought something had happened to him, because I was like, he didn't move. You know?
How did you alert him to your presence? Because I gently.
No, I came in out, and it got to the point where I stood right at the foot of the bed, like looking at him. Because at first I thought it was just some rags on the bed. I thought it was just some rags on the bed because it was dark in there as well. But I got to the point where I was right at the foot of the bed. I'm like, it's definitely him. And I called my girlfriend. I'm like, what do I do? You know, and this entire time he can't hear it.
He's still there.
Got earplugs in. I'm like, what do I do?
Do you still think he might be dead at this point?
No, because eventually I did end up having to like prod him, and he screamed. He screamed really loud.
This is so good. It's like I'm back now. So, will he be looking after the cat again?
No, he's doing it now. Yeah, he's looking after it currently. What Rye's describing could very much be like, exactly what's going on right now, except he's not there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So cat sitting feels like a strong.
for sure.
All the extreme sports, less so.
What's next? Like skydiving and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was.
This is the first one that I think is like everyone has picked a very weird thing. Skydiving, I think, clearly an extreme sport.
Yeah, no
what was
real
it?
interest.
Dreamwife like rock and roll as an extreme sport, which I think is dodging the question.
Yeah. Rock and roll as an extreme sport.
Is boxing an extreme sport?
I think anything where you get punched in the face is probably extreme.
See,
isn't it?
like.
I think extreme is any sport that if someone went, we're going to go down and do a bit of this, and you go, sounds a bit much for me.
A weekend boxing, I would be really tempted on. Yeah. Like, going.
Have you got any history, or you just always fancied it?
Oh, no, yeah, I've got a history, yeah.
Got history.
And I was going to say, speaking of Tyson Fury. No, speaking of Tyson Fury, the last time I went for a weekend of boxing, because I usually just box like in a club in Portland or in my basement. But the last time I went away for boxing was when I joined Tyson Fury's training camp for 2 days down in Vegas. So that was a week. I don't know if it was a weekend, but it was 2 days, and that was really I enjoyed that.
How did that happen?
His trainer, this guy Andy Lee, who's an Irish middleweight. He was former middleweight champion of the world. Great guy, but he was long-term Cribs fan, long-time Cribs fan, and we ended up meeting.
He was an amateur boxer in New York when we played at Irving Plaza in 2010, and he
2009.
2010. I think it's 2010, but we didn't know. We had no idea who he was because he was an amateur, and he blagged his way
Snuck
backstage. And I let him in, and you didn't want. And I was pissed about it because if anyone ever sneaks backstage, I get really I'm like. It sort of suggests that they have ill intent. It's like if someone sneaks into your house, you'd just be like, "Whoa, why is someone in my house?"
It's like if you were maybe lying on a bed just with earplugs in, and someone started shaking you.
Right. I let him in and was chatting to him, and we're just like, we're having like a fun night and introduced him to everyone, and then didn't think anything else of it until years later we noticed we'd seen him win the middleweight world title, and then we realized he was following us on Twitter, so we're like, oh, that's weird.
We just sent him a message. He's like just saying congratulations, but he's like the greatest guy, and he's so he's actually now a really esteemed trainer, and he trained me before when we were on tour in Ireland. And we keep in touch quite a lot. And he invited me down to the training camp, which was super intense. It was in Vegas before the big fight. Yeah. But for me as somebody who does that on like a hobbyist level, to be able to be in that environment was it was really cool. Like one of the cooler things I've got to do, Yeah. And I got to get in there and stuff, which was pretty fun too. I didn't get in there with Tyson Fury.
This is the moment to start that story.
If you want me to say that, I will do. Yeah.
Yeah. It all stems from there.
Had him going at one point as well.
had to ease off to let him win. But it was tight.
He had a big fight coming up, didn't he? So he didn't go full board on Fury, but
didn't want to embarrass him before the big fight.
I did spar Andy though. He was world champion at the time, middleweight world champion. I did a couple of rounds with him. That was fun.
I'm not sure going to a couple of rounds with the middleweight world champion of boxing is my idea of fun. To be honest,
honestly, amazing fun, like the best fun. It's like, it's kind of like if you were into race car driving, get into go race around with whoever the good Ayrton Senna or something.
There's only a little bit. There's only a little bit of blood in your whiz the next day. You know what I mean? It's only a little bit.
but it's a massive privilege. Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
But on that note, that was a good way to end. Speaking of wild weekends.
Yeah. Speaking of pissing a bit of blood, the Cribs, thank you very much, guys, for spending the time. Looking forward to Headline Set. What song of yours would you like us to play on this radio show now?
Something new or old? It's something old, I'd say. Play. No. Okay. Let's just say direction. All right. Play direction. Yeah.
Bam. Done. Cribs, thank you very much.
And that was the week that was.
Wow.
Oh,
what a time.
So from us
pleasure.
here at Dork and from Tyson Fury's trainer,
Tyson Fury's
who has
trainer.
apparently punched a member of the Cribs in the face in a fun way.
In a fun
It's
way.
a goodbye from us. We'll be
Yes.
back in a couple of weeks with a normal show, I believe.
Yeah. So we'll see you then.
In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, hasta la vista, people.
Bye.